And you'll see there's already somebody in this train, so all we have to do is just hop in and drive their train. Never mind, I'm stealing the wrong train. You're already leaving without me. What the heck, man? Hello, everybody. We're back at it again. We're going to be playing again Great Western Express, and we're playing the mission down the line.
Welcome to London Paddington. There are 3 trains available for you to take control of. Each one provides an increasingly longer journey. Which will you choose?
So our goal is to take the train that has the longest journey. These trains start to leave. The longer you wait here, all these trains will eventually leave. And if you let all 3 trains leave, the service will come to an end. It's not what you want to have happen. So one of these trains, I believe, goes to Twyford, and the other ones all go to Reading, the other 2. And we want to make sure we're on the correct train. Oh, no, this train goes to Slough, I believe it is. And this one here goes to Reading. So this is the train we want to take, because this one here should be the one that drives us the longest there. And of course it doesn't tell us until it says that there. The service to Reading is due to depart in 2 minutes, which should be this train here. And you'll see there's already somebody in this train, so all we have to do is just hop in and drive their train for them. Well, never mind, I can't take your train. I'm sorry, buddy. Never mind, I'm stealing the wrong train. You're already leaving without me. What the heck, man? Well, never mind then. Bye. Make sure you can find your train. It's very important, folks. Welcome back to Train Sim World. I am playing down the line for the 2nd time. Yay! So we're going to walk ourselves over to platform number 10, because that's the train we want to take. We have actually 3 trains to choose from. We have this one, which is a short route going to Slough. We don't want to take that one. We have this one, which is leaving essentially right now. And then we have the other one going to Reading, but that's going to go later, and I don't want that one. I want the one that goes the longest, and this train on platform 10 is the train that's going to take us to as many stops as possible versus the one I believe that's on platform 14 over there. So let us get inside the cab and try to re-record the entire episode. Thanks a lot. Silver medal. I got a silver medal. You, sir, lady, I have to take over.
This train is a semi-fast service to Reading. Get things set up, ready for departure. You'll be heading out shortly.
So I got 2 minutes to leave this train. We're going to turn on the cab light. We're also going to turn on the train light behind us. We're going to turn on the AWS behind me, the fuse. We're also going to make sure all of these things up here say emergency supply to normal. In fact, actually, let me turn on the master key, put the reverser on forward, hit that AWS, and then I also want to set the headlight to day, because I realized I have to open the doors, so let me at least get the doors open there. Open doors, so let's unlock the right to get the doors open. We're going to use the tab key for that. While we're loading passengers, we actually have time to set the TPW SIS from isolated to normal. We could do the same thing for the DSD, and the vigilance is already normal, and the rest of these all should be normal. My favorite switch in this game is turning on the reading light. That's very important to turn that on because it doesn't work. And we're going to turn on the gauge light just so I have a little way to see what I'm doing here before we set out. Our train is going to hit pretty much every stop along the route. We don't really have people loading up in the front of the train. They're all loading way back there in the back end. Good job, people, way down there. Once the crew is all on board, we could take our class 166 and literally head down the line. I got a silver medal because apparently I was late going forward. Pretty much from Slough forward, I was late on every stop, and I couldn't get myself any faster here. We have to wait until 9:44 to get going, but we're going to lock the right door. I believe I could lock the right door and just do it without them waiting. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to turn on some cool climate control for me and probably for the passengers. I'm going to turn off the DRA because there's no red light in front of me. To depart, to confirm the train is ready to depart by pressing the guard buzzer twice. This is really designed for a different purpose. I'm going to tell you guys that in a second here. Apply the throttle brake to notch 3. No worries there. And let's get pulled out. First stop is going to be at Ealing Broadway. We're supposed to be there at 9:53, so we're going to try to get there as quickly as we can to get there and get some extra time, hopefully, rather than getting late and late and late. I was about 10 minutes late, and I screwed the game by being about 10 minutes behind schedule. Apparently, the game does not like you to be late. That sucks. but that's okay. So let's get ourselves to throttle 7. We can go at least 25 miles an hour. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be following some single controls here. And currently we got a green signal on platform 5. And what's going to happen is we're going to be switching tracks from platform 5 over to the left. Because we're in the UK, we drive on the left, we don't drive on the right. So folks, you really want to pay attention to your signaling. You can already see it says we have a 50-mile-an-hour zone where we can speed up. But you also want to pay attention to what the signals are all doing up here in the top corner. You had seen it earlier say essentially green, yellow, red at one point, but now it's actually saying green and yellow. So even though we can go 50, it may not be the most advisable thing to do. So the other thing too, these yellow signals actually will tell you why they're there. They're really meant to slow you down to 85. So some of the train can go much faster. This particular train in particular here needs to go a max speed of 90 miles an hour. If you go past 90 miles an hour, you essentially ruin the engine and you ruin the train. So this is one train that you do. Oh my God, I got out of the seat. Stop that. I don't want to get out of the seat. So this route can actually go up to 125 miles an hour with the HSTs, or officially HST, which I will probably never almost pronounce because I'm American. Ealing Broadway is going to be coming up in 3.2 miles, and we're going to coast ourselves to about 85, and then we're going to start slowing down roughly about 2 miles out. In the meantime, the British Rail Class 166 Networker Turbo, that's the official name of the train. It also is known as the Networker Turbo, Turbos, or the Thames turbos, or just simply just turbos. I've already said that probably once at least. This 166 is still in operation as of today. They still use them by the Great Western Railway. At one point, they only operated on certain lines, so to speak. They only operated on express and local services along the Thames Valley, which happened to be the route we're driving now. 166 units have been eventually moved out to the St. Philip's Marsh Depot to operate local and regional services around Bristol and Exeter, and a good chunk of them are sitting out on Exeter. Oh my God, I'm saying that wrong. A good chunk of the 166 are now based in Bristol, where a lot of the 165s are currently running along the Thames Valley here. 2 miles out, this is kind of a good time to slow our engine down. And what we could do is just kind of coast along for a little bit. Learning how to stop these trains is equally important, and you want to kind of find the right defined way to stop. Apparently in my last time I did this, I failed completely. Gotta blow this horn. There are people on the yellow line. Get off that line, people. Goodness, we're not stopping here, folks. Wow, those people. So I gotta love the UK train. They have like some of the most unique looking cars, at least for me, and even the most unique looking engine. I'm putting myself on brake throttle 1 to slow my train down. The entire AP score for this mission is 13,000 AP score. I gotta slow down much quicker because I gotta turn and get myself on the next track over. So let's get myself down to at least 40, so that way I can at least make that happen. I think it's going to be a 40-mile switch over. All right, there's my switch. I should be switching over. Okay, it just says 125. Never mind. I don't have to slow down too terribly. I have to slow down just for the stop. So we're going to be loading, I believe, on the right side here. So we're going to want to open up the right side doors. There's two ways to do it. You can use your tab keys, which has a lot of efficiencies to it, or you can use the door keys located on the side of the doors here, on the side of the doors there, and on the side of the doors on the outside doors for the second man seat. We've got to slow this train down because we're coming up right now 400 yards away. That's actually a good point to slow down with notch 1. Oh, I guess it's going to be the left side. Never mind, we're opening the left side doors. So we kind of work with throttle 1 and then we bump it up to throttle 2. And I'm going to explain the horn once we get a little bit farther out here. I'll explain what the deal is with the horn for folks that may not know UK rail horn systems. And what we want to do with our stops, we want to try to match our train to these little boxes here. And we get points, AP score points. It's actually the easiest for stopping purposes to try to match it to that one little circle there. If we can notch it right in the circle as close as we can to notch the circle, we're actually a minute early. This is excellent news, so we can just kind of coast this way to a full stop. That will give us 749 AP for that full stop. Let's unlock the left doors and get the doors to open and start loading up passengers. We're early. So our AP score works this way. We get 500 AP score for stopping primarily. We get extra bonus AP for being early and stopping. We also get 250 AP scores for loading passengers, and we get bonus AP for, again, arriving early. The key thing here with the AP score is when you're late, you can't get any more than like maybe about 500 AP. you'll probably start getting like $4.99, $4.98, $4.96, etc., depending on how well you can stop here. The worse you stop, the worse your score is going to be. And the AP score, unfortunately, is tricky because the 250 AP score, she's telling me there's live CCTVs in this area, just so you know. The passenger AP score cannot go over 250 once you're late. It's just impossible to go over 250. So let's go ahead and get these doors closed as soon as we do that. And one of the things that it tells us is the buzzer. It's really meant for a certain purpose there, and we could start to shut the doors with the buzzer. It says wait until 9:54. I am not going to do that. I'm just going to lock the doors now because we already got our full group of people here. We don't need to wait anymore for people to get in. They're not going to go in anyways. As far as I know, they're not coming in this train. 1 second or so, we can finally launch this train and get ourselves moving. Stop at location Hayes and Harlington. Let's get this train rolling. You guys are walking in the yellow line. Stop walking in the yellow line, people. We got 500 AP for full set of passengers for being early. So the better we can get at being early, the better our score is going to be. So as soon as we stop at that first station there, we will no longer get prompted for the doors, thankfully, because it's going to be up to me to figure out the doors. Let's talk about the Great Western Express whistling and UK whistling services. Couple things about whistles. If there's a whistle stop or whistle board that you'll see out there, you need to blow at least one low, loud tone, one only between the hours of 6 o'clock in the morning and 11:59 at night. Low tone would be this tone right here. So one low tone just like that. If you're warning anyone or on or near the line itself, you do a high tone or low tone, repeating as necessary. So essentially you're doing high, low. This is essentially what I was doing when I came up to the station. And you can repeat as needed. If you have to do an urgent warning to anyone on or dangerously near the line, that's what you're doing. It's a series of high or short notes. So if there's somebody on that yellow line, you just do this sort of thing, and you do it a little bit more frequently than just a quick once-over kind of thing. Before entering or leaving a maintenance shed, that's very critical here. You just do low, soft tone. Essentially, that's enough. One little low soft tone is enough for a maintenance shed. Maintenance sheds, in case you want to know what that happens to look like, we're about to pass a couple maintenance sheds over here. So this happens to be a maintenance shed. This is for actually vehicles and stuff, but there's rail maintenance sheds like the ones up ahead. Those are all maintenance sheds where the trains will drive into them. Something to keep in mind, we just happen to got lucky and just drive right by here, perfectly in tune with this train. Love this. If you're entering a depot or a siding, all of these things over here would be depots and sidings. That's also going to be a low soft tone. Same idea like maintenance shed. You just do one little, oops, that's the high tone, one little low tone. I use the window wipers. I don't want to turn on the window wipers. Goodness, well, I got the points for that. Yay. I'm going to turn that back off. I don't need the window wipers. My game's getting screwed up already. When shunting and clearing points with points controlled locally, in other words, if I'm the one changing the points to control locally, then at that point I'm doing a low and high tone, low or high tone. So I could do this, or I could do this. So it's something to keep in mind. Before passing over a level crossing in the wrong direction, keep in mind I'm in the UK, I drive on the left. If I happen to be driving on the right and I'm passing over or crossing on the right, then I would do a low or high tone and long. So that'd be like this going through crossing gates here. Keep that in mind. Making a movement in the wrong direction requires a series of high, loud, short tones. In other words, I'm going to be doing this sort of thing if I'm going in the wrong direction, which I'm not. The other thing, if it's a train in distress, I'm going to be doing a series of long blasts on the high to loud tone. Oh, that's low tone. High, loud tone. I'm going to be doing series of long notes, letting people know I'm in distress, whether me or another one ahead of me. Let's go slow this down to 50. Failed headlight or broken windscreen. Surprisingly, you can still drive this train. You just sound the horn more frequently than usual if you have a failed headlight. When making a movement within an engineering possession, you do a low, loud, short horn. Oh my god, a low, loud, short horn. If we're doing a local special code, we could do a high, loud tone. If we're warning a driver of a hazard, we would actually beep the horn at them. This actually doesn't even tell you what the horn code is, so I believe you would at least blow the horn to them to let them know that's a thing. Locally monitored level crossing switched off or failed. If the crossings themselves have failed, we can do a low or high tone, and that would be a long horn. And then any other time the horn is necessary, it's up to the driver to determine how necessary is necessary. That's the cool part about this, is that I can determine when I blow the horn. So all this time I'm blowing the horn here, it's totally up to me. I've been able to do that, and I'm not at fault for doing it. Isn't that amazing? Now, if the horn is broken, if it's either the high tone or the low tone is broken, if it's just one of them, broken or defective, I could still drive this train, but I eventually need to get service at some point. But I'm already at a maintenance depot. I need to make sure at a maintenance depot I can't go anywhere. If both of the tones have failed completely, then I cannot exceed 20 miles an hour and I must be taken out of service as soon as reasonably possible. That's essentially how the horns work, folks. Alright, we went under a mile, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing slowed down to at least 30. And then I'm going to work up from there and wait till about 500 yards to get this thing to slow down a little bit more than 30. And we're going to try to find ourselves a dock as soon as we can. That will do. We're going to coast along until we get to 500 yards. And then we're going to try to get ourselves under 20. And continue to process down until we get down to 0. Stopping with these cars, there's 6 cars here. So the 6-car variant of the Class 166 is a little bit harder than the 3-car version. So 3 cars probably can wait a little bit before you stop. The 6-car, you probably want to stop a little early. So let's get ourselves under 20 here, a little bit faster. I don't see anyone on the platforms. I'm probably not going to necessarily need to blow the horn here, but my stoppage coming up, so we're just going to leave that notch 1 going, and we're going to try to match this up with the stop as best as we can. It'd be a lot harder to do it this way with all these things off and to try to guesstimate the stop there. We are doing pretty good. We're about a minute early, and if we do really well, we should be able to make this in about 10:02 and maybe get a bonus point or 2 for it. And I think I could do it. I'm going to try to be at least 30 seconds early. Alright, I think we got this. Okay, coast. Oh, darn it, I missed it. 746, but that's okay. Unlock the left door. We got plenty of AP. We want to try to get some extra AP as much as we can early on, just in case we get late. The worst thing you could do is be late. And it's giving me, if you notice, 250 extra AP points for being early. And at this point, we're currently on time. Our next destination, if we check our timetable, is West Drayton. We need to be there at 10:06, so we got 3 minutes to get over there. All right, we're actually making our departure time really good right now. So we're going to lock those left doors. I'm not going to wait. We're going to get this train on a roll. Bam, 10:03. We're going to zoom this train. Let's get ourselves moving. Go, go, go. West Drayton, 2.3 miles. It's not too far off, so that's good news. The Class 166 was designed to replace the 165 design. The Class 166, as I said earlier, has a max speed of oh my god, there's a big 125. It doesn't. It has a max speed of 90 miles an hour, and so it's suitable for mainline use. And the differences between the 165 and the 166 is the 166 now has air conditioning, so we can finally cool down our passengers. There's 2 toilets in this train, so if we look inside the train here, we can see our wonderful passengers here. One of the toilets happens to be right here in this car where these 2 windows are blocked off. And then down in the other end of the car, so we have 3 cars, 1, 2, and 3. The other one is also the same where there's another set of toilets in this car. Where are you, toilet? It's not there. I don't know where the toilet is. This should have 2 toilets. Where's the second toilet? That's so unusual. There it is. Okay, it's on the opposite side. I didn't realize it switched sides. Okay, so it's got 2 separate toilets, or they say in the UK, 2 separate loos. So the original 165 had only 1 loo, the 166 had 2 loos. The other thing is they have tables in first class, and then in 1/3 of the middle carriage. There's also a dedicated cycle luggage storage area in the middle carriage. We're going to slow ourselves down because we got to slow down and stop pretty soon. Here it is, bike storage. So on the other side, actually I'm on that side. The other side is the bike storage area. Let's see if I can slow my train down. This is kind of a good time to get this train slowed down. So bike storage over there, luggage over here. And the last thing is different interior paneling between the doors, as you can see the doors there, and the rest of the cars. That's the inherent difference between the Class 166 and the Class 165. Now, in case you guys happen to be playing Train Sim World 4 like me, you might have this distance meter here. The blue lines indicate actually a platform. So every time you see the blue line, that's a platform. So it gives you a good idea of where you might be stopping on your platform. We're going a little bit fast here. It's already 400 yards. We're going to get this train going down to 20 as close as we can. Are we late? I don't know. We're about 15 seconds late. Good job. I'm already late in this mission. How exciting. And I tried to speed as best as I could. And we're going to try to coast this in a way where we can stop on a dime and try to get as much of that 500 AP points as we can get. Because as soon as we're late, the AP score starts to... Oh, God. Come on. Come on. Stop. Emergency brakes. Thank you for being emergency brakes. Love it. Thank goodness. 729 AP. I got it. I'm still considered early, apparently. So that's good news. We have until 10:07. Once we pass that 10:07 time, that's when we're probably late, right? And we're supposed to load passengers at 10:07. So that's the deal there. We have 1 minute to be late with our train here. 1 minute between 10:14 and 10:15 at Slough. So Slough is essentially the place where I started to become late. Hello. Could watch this one do it as well, right? We could watch these folks load up and do their thing while we're waiting on our side here. All right, folks. So it's going to be time to head out and move on to our next destination. We're closing the doors. I saw somebody. What the heck? I saw somebody sneaking through that door. There they go. They're sneaking through the. Oh, it's. Wait, I'm on that train. No wonder. I was like, wait, how are these people sneaking in the train? And I took a break. I took a break and I forgot I'm not this train. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Right, I'm in the wrong train. Turns out I'm in the wrong train for sure. Anyways, onward. We are going to Slough. Next stop, 10:14 Slough. 5 miles away, so we're going to bump it up to Notch 7 and just zoom us along because we got to get there ASAP. But I got to get 13,000 AP and I missed it by about 200 AP. Doesn't that suck to have to go from where we started all the way to Reading and screwed up as soon as we got there? I was like, crap. And I was looking at, can I reverse? I turned around and I'm like, the light's red, and so I couldn't back up either. So there's just no way to fix it. So I had to restart the game. So here I am restarting it again. A lot of the Class 166s were designed essentially to build, and even the 165 was designed for this too. Well, it's designed to replace the Class 117, the 119, and the 121 DMUs. The train originally was for the Thames Valley, but has since been moved to the Bristol area. And in Bristol, they're doing, what's the word? I hit the button. The Bristol area they're doing things a bit different. So instead of having the driver operate the train like I'm doing here on the Thames Valley, the driver typically would do, all the doors opening and closing, whatever. But in Bristol, you got the driver and you got essentially a guard. And so certain stations out there in Bristol have very short stations. And if they needed a short station, a person could just walk over to the door and just open a single door for a guard. Do you know I'm looking at you? My goodness, stop that. I'm trying to talk here. But yeah, so I have the ability to park my train and maybe just have it only go to these two cars here. I can open the doors for these 4 doors right here and not actually open the rest of the cars, and everything could be all hunky-dory without people falling off the railroad tracks, you know what I mean? So we got to check up here, see if anybody's hanging out. There are people on the yellow line. Dude, get off the yellow line, buddy. You're going to get yourself run over like that. That's just how it goes, people. So yeah, looking in the engine, I've said this before, in case you want to know what TPWSIS is for, it's meant for a SPAD control. So if you don't know what SPAD control is, let's just throw another acronym at you. It's essentially passing a signal at danger. So if that light in front of me was not green and it was red, and I ended up not having this on, the TPWSIS, if I didn't have that on, I would probably just drive straight through it and crash into another train, crash into the end of the station, kill someone somewhere along the way. So the advantage of a SPAD control system, so this here is meant to be prevention, right? The alerter here is meant to be essentially a reminder like, hey, pay attention to me kind of thing. The prevention essentially prevents me from killing someone. The reminders here are essentially designed just to make sure I'm awake and paying attention because, driving a straight line train can get kind of boring after a while, right? Especially if you've driven this for 30 straight years, you can kind of do it in your sleep and just do it really well, So we got to stop at Slough in 1.8 miles. I'm going almost 90 miles an hour here. This is a good time to see how well it is your train can stop. And I'm going to wait till pretty close to a mile before I slow this train down. The DSD is also part of the vigilance system, so simply pressing Q will allow you to press the alerter and the DSD system. And then now that we're about a mile out, let's go ahead and do brake throttle number 1. And we're going to hope for the best that this train can slow down. We got 6 cars. It should be able to slow down without a problem. We do have a 75 zone coming up, so we have to make sure our train drops under 75 before we get there. And it's obvious we're going to do that, so we are in good condition. We are going to be maybe almost a minute late. I don't know. We're going to have to see how it goes, how we slow down and how we stop, because we're coming up pretty quick, 500 yards. I'm going to have to, probably do throttle 2 here. At this point, this train needs to stop like right now. We're going way too fast. There's a chance I might even overshoot. Emergency brakes again are useful. Come on, get off the line, people. So the emergency brakes are useful to make sure that this train will stop roughly, and you can see this. This is a really, really good use of that emergency brake. I actually would have overshot it, but I didn't. So I am super lucky. I am right on time with my stop. Bam, look at that. I am good. So let's go ahead and unlock the left doors. I'm actually pretty good with the stops, thanks to playing Thames Grade first. Looking at the other game, what happened after Slough is I got screwed. Somehow I screwed up and did something where my train had to stop. There was a red light up ahead, and then I stopped my train for it, and then apparently the light turned yellow, and then it turned green. It was like, go ahead, and I was like, my train ain't moving, and I just wasted a whole minute trying to move my train, and then from there, it just snowballed, and I just ended up ridiculously late. It was just stupid. And I hate when that happens, you know what I mean? So let's lock our doors, lock left side doors. We're ready to go. We're obviously already over time, so we're going to try to get this train moving, like right now. Throttle 3, let's move. Let's move, train, let's go. It's obviously harder to move a 6 train forward, but there is the advantage of, like, if you're going uphill, you have this compressor speed, which will actually be used to keep you from rolling backwards. It kind of keeps the brakes on and prevents the train from rolling backwards until the throttle speed can kind of catch up and you can get a point where you can finally move forward. Moving the throttle does not affect the AWS. The AWS is in a completely different switching system. So something to keep in mind that you probably will have to do multiple things at one time when you're trying to deal with moving these trains around. I've got 30 seconds to try to get this train stopped at Burnham, but I don't think I'm going to make it. So I'm probably going to be like a minute late. Can I get this right? Oh my God, people, get off the line. I'm sure this is what train drivers say. This is what I would be saying. Get off the little line, people. Just move. You're going to get yourself killed this way, you know? Okay, we need more brakes, more brakes, more brakes, more brakes. No more brakes. One more brake. Come on. Stop, 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 stop. Right there. Okay, good. 712. That's good enough. Unlock doors. Unlocked right. We actually got it. So this is good. 1019 with the kicker. How did we do? We get 1019 at 10 seconds. Oh, that's awesome. Lock doors. Okay. So we're going to hold down the compressor speed up, and we're going to go ahead and go to throttle 3. As soon as it says the doors are locked, we're going to find out. Doors are locked, and the train will no longer roll backwards. The brake cylinder pipe is going to empty, and as soon as the brake cylinder pipe empties, we can let go of the compressor speed up. Essentially, once we start getting speed here, that tells us we're able to get our train moving. We're going to go ahead and go throttle 7. No worries there. 1022, we've got to be in Taplow, and then we got to get everybody loaded by 1023. But one of the ways you could tell this is actually a refresh class 166. I'm just noticing the light there, kind of interesting. Let me go back in there. It really is on day, isn't it? It is on day. That's interesting. So it's actually slightly offset. That's interesting. I'm just now noticing that. One of the reasons you could tell that this is a refreshed engine or a refreshed set of trains is back in 2010 they started the first refresh, and then the second refresh happened in 2014. I might even have to finish this once we finish our stop here. We'll see what happens, folks. But yeah, so alerter. And so one of the things that got replaced was the fact that they put in new LED headlights, and you could tell these are LED headlights here. Another way you could tell they put new door button with a round button on a yellow ring. So if you went over to any of the doors here, you'll see on the other side of the door, you'll see that round button with the yellow ring. However, I will say this is not a complete model of the refresh. So for example, the carpets and the seats were retrimmed, the interiors were repainted the first time in 2010. All of the information displays had a GPS system, and as far as I know, I assume that's where the information display would have been. There's nothing on the information display, and there's no information display anywhere in the rail cars, so I don't know where the information display even is, but you could tell the buzzers, the doors, the button, the toilet, if I could ever see them, and all the other stuff in there are all the refresh system. So that's one way to tell that you got the new engine. We're gonna have to see how this goes. Oh my God. I love stopping this train. I love the fact that I've got this little light up thing that kind of tells me where I should be stopping. It's just kind of a fun challenge to try to get a full 500 AP out of it and then getting whatever extra I can get out of this. I am going to overspeed just a little bit. All right, there we go. There we go. Coming in, coming in. I know I'm wasting time here by slowing my train down super slow. That's fine. That's good enough. 689. Let's go ahead and open the left doors. And what I'm going to do for you guys while we're loading passengers, we're going to get up and I'm going to show you what happened when we just unlock the one door here. So this door is open. Let's open this door. Close, lock, open. This one open. And I don't think it'll actually open with the button, which is very weird. It actually will open that way if I do that. And then I can hit the button. Either side should open the button, and then eventually this door will open. So if I go back in the cab, what the cool way to see this is if I just do camera 3 real quick, you'll see why the guard button was installed for the 166. So the 166 can open just this one door if necessary. And then what's nice about it is the guard button can get pressed twice like this. And then when the guard button gets pressed twice like this, the guy can just come over here and shut the doors with the yellow button there. And we're going to be almost done with our passengers, so we're going to have to get moving, and then the doors will automatically lock at that point. Next stop is Maidenhead with our compressor system on. We could turn it back off now that we got some speed. If we really need to, we could just hold it just for a little bit to make sure we get some little more speed there. And let's go ahead and go throttle 7 because we are going to be late to Maidenhead. It is so obvious. Even if it's 1.8 miles away, we have at least 3 more stops here, and we want to try to do our best to be as early as possible. And you can see how the AP score is slowly dropping as we stop location, and even the passenger service starts dropping too. And we want to try to maintain as close as we can to 500 AP as we go along with loading and unloading. And even in this, as we were loading passengers here, we were late some of the time for the loading, and it does affect things in your system. All right, I'm actually going to wait for 500 yards to slow this train down because I think that's going to be the wise decision here. I'm just going to start coasting at a mile out, right? And then I'm going to wait till closer to 500 yards because I got a little uphill, so that's going to slow me down little by little. And at 500 yards, I think this is a good time to throw on throttle 1, or at least to brake throttle 1. I don't know why I keep calling it throttle 1, but I keep doing that, so whatever. And that should get me slowed down just right, hopefully. I'm probably going to have to put throttle 2 because I'm coming in pretty hot right now. Go to throttle 2 for the brakes. And I think that might just be enough. Let's just beep a couple people out of the way because I'm kind of coming in a little bit faster than I expected. Throttle 2 should do it. I don't think I need to change anything. I might have it. What are you doing? Get off! Get off the line, people! Come on, get off the line. People, I'm trying to drive a train here, and you're not making this any easier for me. Okay, I think we're gonna probably exceed it. No, we made it. We made it. Just yes, that was good target right there. So let's go ahead and unlock the left door. Left door is unlocked. And look, we made it, but just barely a minute to spare. Oh my God, we're getting so close to the end. What I've been wondering about is this help point. Does this thing actually work? Emergency push. Speak here. Information push. That would be kind of cool if this was actually a working device. And then you actually hear some stuff. I love that. And then what the best part is, look, there's solar panels. How is it going to get solar panel sun when it's underneath the roof? That makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. So you'll notice the difference in passenger loading is it will tell you and make you wait until the time before you leave in a way. But as soon as you're late, you don't really have to worry about that per se. You could just take off as soon as you're ready. Just make sure that that little bar that goes around actually goes all the way through. I almost screwed myself up, actually. I think it was Twyford I did this, where on this side here I started moving. I thought it said close the doors, and I started moving, and I'm like, the doors, they weren't closed. Thankfully, some cars back there were still on the platform, so I was like, oh my gosh, let's get this fixed. And so basically I just opened the doors again and just got that last little sliver in, and I got the door shut and it worked. And I was like, oh, thank you, right? So one of the cool things about actually all of the Train Sim World games is they do the same sort of thing, and they have the same sort of theme, which is kind of cool. So you can actually hear the sound of the railroad clicking as I go through that overpass there, and you can really hear it. And eventually the sound does change depending on where you are. So the closer we are to London, Paddington, the louder it becomes because London's a very loud location. But then when you're out in the farm areas and areas like this where it's not as populated, the sounds are much more subdued and just really gentle and really nice. And even the horn sound, you can actually hear the difference between the front of the train and the back of the train. You can barely hear it there, at least, because I got my sound turned down, but it's really cool to see that they incorporated sound mechanics into the game. So folks, definitely like and subscribe if you've been enjoying this, in terms of Great Western Express. The first two were really easy, quick and easy missions. This is really the main mission that really gets you going on managing passengers, managing stations, managing your train, and still, in my case, trying to communicate to you all what the heck is going on here. Also, let me know in the comments if you like this circle here, because at some point I can always get rid of it. I personally like it because I don't always, eyeball. Oh God, I don't always eyeball up here the top right. So I don't always see things like the speed limit changes, and I don't always see things like the light. But I will agree with some of you that having that light right there just kind of ruins the experience for me. And I'm like, I'm just staring at the green thing the entire time until I finally pass it, or at least get closer to it. And it's true, it is up there, but I find it's helpful to kind of see it visually in front of me. It's kind of like driving a car and just having a heads-up display on the car and be able to see what's right in front of me. There are lights that you want to pay attention to in Train Sim World, at least for UK route. The advantages of the UK route over the American route is the lights actually tell you speed and distance, where American routes really only tell you just distance. It doesn't tell you anything else. It doesn't even tell you where you're going. The UK routes actually will tell you where you're going, which is really helpful here. So we're going to put throttle 1 for the brakes. I should probably have slowed down way more than this. So there's a good chance I'm going to overspeed. So we're going to go ahead and do throttle 2. But there's also a chance that's going to help me catch up. So you'll see a green light here. No feather. We'll talk about the feathers in just a second when we get back to it. And the next light is going to be another green. Just after the station, you can see we got some yellows coming up, because the yellow here is going to be our light for, oh my god, I've really got to put emergency brake, people. I might overshoot this one. There's a good chance I might overshoot this one. Oh, nope. There's a good chance I'm not going to overshoot this one. Back off, emergency brake. What I love about the emergency brake is it doesn't just like kill the game for you and slam it. So that's really good about this. What are you doing there? Get off the line, people. Come on. Oh yeah, I got this one good. Wow. So that was a good use, unintentionally, a good use of emergency brake system. Like emergency broadcast system right there. When you're coming in, and if you just overshot the mark, and if you think you're overshooting things, throw the emergency brake. At least it's better to stop early than it is better to overshoot. If you did overshoot, best thing you do is overshoot far enough to get your train out and then back up and go back in. That's probably the best thing you can do. You'll screw yourself up in terms of, how soon you can depart and everything and how late you're going to be, but you do what you can do, right? So we're supposed to have everybody loaded by 10:36. We are pretty close to that mark. It's probably going to be 10:37, and Reading, we're supposed to be there at 10:42 and load people at 10:43. I think I can make Reading in a good way. We've already passed our AP score because we did the right thing and we weren't late. So at this point, if we needed to be late, we could be late, and it's okay. At least going forward from here. All right, again, we're on a 0.1% grade uphill, so we're going to go ahead and lock the left side doors, because that's the only doors that are unlocked currently. Since it says lock doors, we're going to lock doors. We're going to click the compressor speed up, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves to throttle 3. Once those doors are completely closed, this will be enough to get going. You notice the objective completed dropped down to 464. So I'm already losing points now because of how late I was, and I couldn't get everybody loaded until 10:37 and 19 seconds, which is the part that drives me nuts, that I actually have to wait that full darn circle, because sometimes I can actually get myself early if I didn't have to, do that. When this train rolls up into Reading, that's essentially the end of the line, so we have to remember that there's going to be a red light at the other end. UK signaling system work, it's really simple compared to the US system. The US system is complicated, it depends on the railroads and everything. UK is simple. So what you're going to have is green first, which we just passed. We're going to have a double yellow, which is actually the light up ahead. And then we're going to have an alerter to press, of course. And then we're going to have a single yellow. And then we're going to have our red light. And you can already see here, it's actually a different single. It says single yellow with a feather that goes off to the, I got to slow down now, to the left. And what that's telling me, and it's really convenient, unlike American railroads that don't do this, American railroads will never tell you this, that which way you're going. It'll just tell you got a speed limit issue. But UK railroads are really nifty, because that will tell me the feather transitioning me to this track here, and actually it's going to transition me one more track over, and I'm actually going to be on the far left track. I don't believe there's a train behind me that I can see. There's nobody there. He's not there yet. Vigilance system. In case you want to know, and I said this before, the vigilance system, the advantage of the vigilance system is essentially that ping that you keep hearing, and it really doesn't turn off, honestly. It's a nice way to remind you to press the alerter. So essentially they got a reminder for the reminder, and then the reminder for the actual preventative thing, and if you don't do anything by then, your train shuts off. You can also see that road sign that we just passed there. We had a road sign for me being 90 and then HST being 125. And our speed limit change here is actually not even for me. None of it's for me because I'm actually on the HST track. And so that means this yellow light's really for HST. So pay attention to those details, because if you do it right, there's my double yellow. That means we're going to have to slow down soon. And so the nice part about UK trains is I don't need to worry yet about slowing down until I pass the next yellow light. And at that point, that's the point where I probably want to slow down to 40. All right, we got another feather with the light going that way, and that's what our 40 mile an hour is for. So let's go ahead and slow this down a little bit more. Throttle 3, I kind of went a little bit over speed. There we go. I almost derailed right there. Good golly, that was a close one, close call. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Nearly derailed right there. Significantly over speed limit, of course, but I've already got my AP points, so no rush there. What we're doing is moving from the left back to the right, so that way we can dock at our proper platform. And then from here on out, the speed is eventually going to increase, but we're already going to stop in 1 mile, so there's no point to increase our speed too much. All right, stops in 300 yards. Make sure nobody's on the platform. Give them a quick blow of the whistle there. There isn't anybody there, so I think we're okay. We're just going to kind of coast down at 20 miles an hour, give or take. And we'll probably have to bump up the notch here a little bit. You can also do this from the driver's seat, but it's really hard to stop from the driver's seat, honestly, because you can't really see where the edge of the platform is, and you kind of guesstimate roughly where the edge of the platform. Usually there's a sign, so this happened to be one of the signs that says this is where your car probably should stop. And it gives you a rough idea, so that way, like, when you look this way, you can kind of see how many cars should be at the 4 to 6 stop right there. So my engine should be stopping, like, right here. That's actually the perfect place to stop there. 623 AP score. We got that one. Unlock the right door. Load passengers one more time, wasting more time to do that. Actually, these guys are going in front. This person, there you are. It's like, are you going to stay on for another trip? And then there's magical people coming out of the cars. Where are these people coming from? Don't know who they are. Don't know why they're here. By the way, you remember that DRA system? Turn that on. This is the right place to turn it on, folks, in case you want to know. A lot of what we do here is we turn everything off, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the day headlight off, and we're not going to worry about that since that's there. Brakes are already on full service. We're going to put the reverser to off. And I'm just going to wait on what they're going to tell me to do, because I've just done a few things that they wanted me to do. Brakes are already ready to go. Reverser is set to off, and the master key is set to lock. That should trigger that.
Well done on that run. It seems you can handle any service in the Thames Valley that we have to offer. Keep up the great work.
Now, I could just isolate all the switches, but I'm not going to be, that mean person to do that to another person. But I am going to turn off at least the light in this one. I don't need to turn off the train light because it's probably going to go in the other direction. So I'm going to leave that on. Oh, wait, there is a reason to turn off the alerters, actually, because if we really are going in the other direction, you probably don't want this stuff turning on in the opposite direction. So that is one reason to turn at least these guys off: the Vigilant, the DSD, and the TPWSIS, along with the AWS system right behind me. So to get out of the train, of course, we're just going to leave the doors open for now. We're going to let somebody else close this because this will probably go somewhere at some point. And we're going to finish the day. So, as usual, like I said earlier, definitely like and subscribe and let me know what you think. Now that we finished the mission, let's go see if we got the gold medal. We should, because we're finally over 13,000 AP score. Thank you, gold medal. And like I said, like, subscribe, leave me comments, and let me know what you think. And you can kind of see how I did here. I was doing really good in the beginning, and it was right around Slough. So Slough is notorious for causing that delay in time. So whatever you could do to get yourself to be early before Slough, everything after that starts to eat away at time, unfortunately. And the more you can try to keep the time, the better you are with any kind of passenger service. So with this, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate you all sticking out with me and giving me some really great feedback for this stuff, and I look forward to catching you up in the next one. Bye for now, guys. A trip. That apparently is my wheels going about 90 miles an hour. It's going so fast, it's glitching the matrix, folks. The wheels are glitching the matrix. I love this. Oh my gosh, it looks like it wants to fly off the rails. That's hilarious. This thing's gonna fly off the rails, man.